Welcome to part 2 of the marathon, now with less changelings. It's time for the second part of this marathon, so today I'm going to be counting down top 5 favorite cartoons, which had around 4 votes. I know some people may say that this is ripping off Alex when he did his favorite animated shows, but here's the way I see it. 1. This is not covering anime. This is covering strictly cartoons released in America. 2. It's a top 5, not a top 10, so ha! 1 per franchise, so if I'm talking about a DC show, I have to include it from said franchise, and I can't put anything else. And this is strictly my opinion, so if you have your own opinion on these shows, leave a comment or make a video response. Because of this, however, I cannot include any anime, obviously, and sadly that also means I can't put Transformers Armada on it.
You understand you'll pay for this.
It was originally made in Japan, released by Japan, so it's an anime, not a cartoon. So let's just get started. What happens when you combine a fantasy adventure, add in dice, and make it into an animated show? This show was friggin' awesome! Although I watched it when I was starting to grow out of watching cartoons on TV, this show kept me interested enough to keep watching. All of the characters have unique personalities to them, and they are there to serve their purpose. None of the main characters are worthless to the story, and they play a major part in the overall story. Which isn't that easy to do when you have more than one character developed in a 52-episode series, I find, in modern cartoons these days. My Little Pony. I'm just kidding, I still love you. Speaking of story, I find the story to be really good and well developed in the first season, as the overall villain is built up as the series goes on, and even the history of this universe is explained really well as it goes on throughout the series. And as the show goes on, we also get introduced to new characters to either help or fight the defenders. Adam is one case in which you could draw comparisons to Tommy from Mighty Morphin, as he works for the bad guys for a bit and then joins with the good guys later on. I'd explain his past further, but that would give too many spoilers. In terms of the animation, although this is made in Adobe/Macromedia Flash, the animators went all out to make this good. The effects are nice, the spells look awesome, and I love the art style, the backgrounds, and character designs. This is one of the exceptions to hand-drawn over computer animation in my opinion. And oh god, the music. I friggin' love it! The intro sets the mood to the show so well, it wouldn't surprise me if this was used against army prisoners to get them to talk. My only complaint is the second season and how it handled some of the characters, but it still was an entertaining conclusion. At least they didn't pick colors! Overall, this show was awesome. Animation was top-notch, the story was entertaining and well-developed, and the characters were really good. Give it a watch, you won't be disappointed. I don't know if I've hinted this before, but I love Greek mythology, and I loved reading it when I was younger. Yeah, I think I just burned a joker. Clash of the Titans is a case in which modernization of older materials actually worked to make a decent cartoon. As the name suggests, Clash of the Titans revolves around descendants of the Greek gods of old in a modern setting as they take on the main villain and save the Olympian gods. The animation is really good, and the character designs are interesting, especially with the gods. The characters have their own unique personalities, similar to their ancestors, like Jay has similar leadership qualities as his ancestor Jason, etc. And the characters also go through a bit of development as the series goes on, but that development mainly comes in the form of them getting along with each other as a team. But I think my favorite character has to be Cronus, held to the mother-clopping yes. This guy is freaking awesome. He had an interesting personality. He looked so cool. He's voiced by Galvatron.
No one defies my command and gets away with it.
And he can walk through flames. Sorry about that. I also liked the episodes, as some were serious and covered some issues like time travel, some had funny moments, and it overall was fun to watch. My favorite episode was easily the two-part series finale of the second season. It hyped the villain up throughout the episode, and it left you in a loop. Though the ending was pretty stupid, it was a really good two-parter, and I would highly recommend the series if you're into Greek mythology and want something new. Give it a try. Let's talk Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not that one. This one. I know some people may be saying that this is ripping off Alex, but is it my fault we both like this show? Didn't think so. This show revolves around 4 mutant turtles and their master fighting crime in the Big Apple. While the 80s Turtles may have attracted an audience of kids, the 2003 version had enough story and fighting to attract older and younger audiences. What, do you think I'll make an MOP joke? You know me better. Speaking of story, I feel that this has a better story than any Turtles media before it. While keeping references to the 80s version at a minimum, the Shredder was threatening, Baxter Starkman was kinda threatening, and the story was more dark and serious than before. And the best example of that is the 5-parter reality check across the universe, same as it never was, and the real world part 1 and 2. As it explains how different universes are in the show if certain events happened, and it also proves that the story can be dark, but it can be entertaining, and it showed here. The show was so popular, in fact, that not only did it last 6 years, but it also got 2 spin-offs, which you could argue are the last 2 seasons. Return to the Sewers and Fast Forward, which I have barely seen. I've seen more of Fast Forward than Return to the Sewers, but still. The show's humor is also there, and it is funny as Tartarus. And the characters are really good. While some don't go through much development, the ones that do are really well developed when the show ends. Maybe they're the human characters, but still. Overall, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a really good show with its action, story, and characters. I would highly recommend this one. I give it 4 turtles and a half shell. I grew up with a lot of superhero shows. Sue me. Ben 10 was amazing. That's all I need to say. It's because of the atheist comment, isn't it? Fine, I'll continue. Ben 10 revolves around a kid getting an alien watch one day during his summer vacation and using it to fight crime. It wasn't an original plot, but it wasn't trying to be. The show instead focused on action! It did have a plot that developed as the show went on, but a majority of it focused on Ben, his grandpa Max, and his cousin Gwen. The action was really awesome to watch, as it was aliens beating the shit out of aliens. I found it never got old, especially with the different transformations. And man, they were friggin' creative with them transformations. We got the Human Torch if he was always on fire, the Reggie Gigas wannabe, Diamond Head, the Flash mixed with Aquaman, and many more. I also really like the characters of it. Max is funny sometimes, but I do like it when he has his serious moments, and his past was interesting. Gwen was okay, and Ben, while immature, it was funny to see him act like a hero, even though he is 10. Though he did show he could be serious, and that was good. The show also has some good villains, I find. Like Kevin, before his alliance changed to an alien force and his powers remind me of Jugo from Naruto. And Vilgax was friggin' awesome until his pussification in an alien force. His voice was awesome, I liked his design, and he was so friggin' powerful. It was awesome. The episode variety was really good as well. We got an episode revolving around duplicates, an episode on ghosts, and there were even a couple episodes involving Ben's future self, which was pretty awesome. And the animation is also really good. Everything is well animated, and the designs of the characters and aliens are really good. I would talk about the sequels, but they're okay, except for Omniverse. What reason was there to take out Gwen and Kevin in favor of some new character? Sorry, but I just don't like that decision. However, the original Ben 10 was a lot of fun to watch, and it's in number 1. Wait, we're not done yet? But it's the last entry! Wait a minute. There's a new file here? Someone hacked in and made a new file in here? This is getting stupid. Let's move on. Justice League Unlimited. It was fun to watch, had an awesome theme song, and it's not on this list. Sorry guys, but while I do like this show, I found another that I like more than Justice League Unlimited. What can I say? I love the Batman. I put the intro on my cartoon intros list, for crying out loud. And it's really awesome to listen to. Now, I probably angered some Batman the Animated Series fans when I said I hated the show, but this, I believe, is the superior version in my opinion. And frankly, does it really matter if my opinion is different than anyone else's? No. If you like the show, more power to you. I didn't. Great characters, fun action scenes, great plot, and it had a balance on dark and silly storylines. All the characters are really fleshed out, and they all have likable traits to them for the most part, even if they are villains. From the witty and smart Barbara Gordon, to the fun and adrenaline-filled Dick Grayson. Each character is very likable, and it makes me want to keep watching. One of my favorites is ironically the main character, Batman. Batman is one of my favorite characters in the show, as we see almost an even amount of him as both Batman and Bruce Wayne, which helps the double identity aspect of his character. I also like how he interacts with the other characters. Of course, he has his relationship with Commissioner Gordon, as well as Batgirl and Robin, but we also get introduced to two new characters, introduced solely for this series. I haven't read the comics, sue me. Ethan Bennett and Ellen Yin, who are trying to get Batman arrested. Batman's interaction with Ethan is so big that when Ethan becomes infected by the Joker and turns into Clayface, Batman's left with guilt for that, because him and Bruce were good friends when they were younger, and now they're enemies. This does get a resolution in the later seasons, but I don't want to spoil it to anyone who hasn't watched the series. All I will say is that it's surprising. Speaking of episodes, they are really good. I'm serious. I can't find an episode that I really despise, unlike the animated series. And my favorite episodes are the introductions to Batgirl and Robin, and the episode Artifacts. I also really like the animation style of the show. It looks more kid-friendly, but it's ironic considering the theme of the show. And it looks really good, even if it does remind me of that. Overall, Batman is one of my favorite cartoons of all time. The animation is top-notch, the characters are really good, and the episodes are some of my favorites to watch on TV. I'm the Mountie Chief, and
hey Digimon, monster friends to the boys and girls. Hey Digimon.